What's up, you guys? Welcome to the 20 to 40 podcast. Super excited. We're on episode 13. We're talking about controlling what's in your control and taking maximum advantage of that. I'm here with my co-hosts. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. My name is Aubrey. I'm a father, a physical therapist, investor, trader, and fitness and nutrition entrepreneur. I'll pass it over to Sirod.
This is Sirod. I do HR. Was retired law enforcement for the federal government, and I am happy to be here.
What up? I'm Stephen. I'm an attorney, father. Also was in the Air Force, and excited to be here.
Let's get it. So, in the 20 to 40 podcast, we're always going to give you some of the nuggets that we've learned in our experience going from 20 to 40 years old, one of the most crucial times in your life, to help you on that journey. Whether you just turned 20, you're in the middle of your journey in your 30s, or you're at 40 and you're ready to go to the next level. So today, what we're going to be talking about is controlling what's in your control and maximizing your opportunities. I'm going to give you guys a saying that really helps. It's called the serenity prayer. If you haven't heard of it, it's called, God, grant me the serenity, accept the things I can change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So we're going to go over a few things that are in our control because, when we're talking, you got, I'm kind of like the optimist, like, yo, we could do it. We got Steven, who's like the sky is falling kind of dude. And then we got Sirod, who's the, I don't really care about none of it. It can do what it does. So let's go. I'm going to give you a few stats and then we're going to jump into it. So in your health, right? Regular exercise can lower your risk of death by 30 to 35% with just 150 minutes a week. Literally like just about 2 hours out of your 160-hour week. Nutrition, 1 in 5 deaths worldwide is linked to poor nutrition, right? Stress management, chronic stress increases your risk of heart disease by 40% and stroke by 50% and premature death, early death by 20%. So I want to go over a few of these things, which is like your health, your stress, and then also we'll get into finances too, where 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So a lot of your spending is in your control. So the first question I really want to ask y'all to have y'all come in on is going to be, what are some things that you feel like are in your control that you make sure to hit every month? Like for somebody that's in their 20s or 30s, where really in your teens, you are transitioning from being in your family's house where a lot of things are really taken care of for you into, young adult 20 and 30s is where a lot of that starts shifting into your court. So what can you guys give us, like, are some things that as you came into your 20s and 30s that really helped you into your 40s that were in your control that you make sure to take advantage of every month? Whoever wants to start off.
You want to go?
Yeah, I guess I can. I think one of the most important things that I think that is in my control is my work ethic, right? And how just when I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, you always have to think you're gonna just take over the day, right? And I've always just been like a hustler, like no one's gonna outwork me, whether it's anything I've done. I just want to, just compete, and I think the biggest thing that I've learned going through with my work ethic is I can't compete against others. I just got to compete against myself because some people are going to be better than you at some things, and that's okay, right? And those are the people that you keep around you to push you to do things. And once I learned just to compete with myself, it's helped me stay within myself, right? And understand what what I exceed in, right? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? And once I understood what those weaknesses were, I was able to then shape those into strengths, right? Like whether it's in school or being a parent or, just on the day-to-day grind, right? Like, what you have to do and you just kind of stay within yourself. And it does get boring. Like life, the older you get, kind of gets boring. And it's not really boring because it's like boring. It's more boring because it's routine, right? You have that routine you have that you build. Like I remember when I was in my 20s, I didn't have a routine, right? I would just wake up whenever, who hitting me, where we going, what we doing. It was all about seeking the fun and the entertainment side of life and not really trying to figure out, what's the best way to build, right? How am I going to be successful going forward instead of living just, like those stats you gave about paycheck to paycheck. Anyone that's living paycheck to paycheck is living day to day. You know what I mean? You're not thinking or having that sight of like, okay, like I got to do all these little things. So in 5, 10, 15 years, I can be here. You're thinking, you know what, every day's survival. I gotta get it today. And that's what it is. And I think once you try to shift from really like survival mode to planning out, where it is that I want to live and like live a good life, I think that's when you can really start to change your mindset and really start looking for goals and purposes in life.
Yeah, I think health wise and finances, I'll just tap on those two. As you get older, I know for me, there's really no obligation that you work out. I'm not in the military, I'm not a cop anymore. We do have little ones, all of us. So that is motivation to kind of stay in shape. But that's within my control, to decide that I want to get up and just take a jog. It don't got to be far, right? I just want to get up and take a jog. Um, Eating better, adding that to it, I can make the choice to not buy the cookies. I don't know why it's so hard, but if I don't buy it and it's not in the house, then when snack time comes, I'm more leaning toward grabbing a banana because it's not in the house. So I try to control that as well. And then finances, I started tracking my money in like 2011 or something. So every time I spend something that's not bills, I write down what that number is. And I don't think I've been less than $2,000 since 2011, which is insane because I don't have that kind of money. It's between spending every penny I got, swiping a credit card here and there. But each month, outside of bills, outside of necessities, this was gas, food, eating out, clubbing, partying, drinking, grocery store, you name it. If it ain't a bill, I would put it on. And I mean, some months, depending if I go on a trip or something, I'm in $4,000 territory. Christmas time, I'm in $5,000 territory. So being able to see that number, I think just recently was the first time that I said, you know what, I got to start controlling this better and really focus on what do I need? And this number should be closer to maybe $600, especially because I have a Tesla. I don't pay for gas. So it should be closer to $600. And I did that for like 3, 4 months. And then the money started piling up and I started spending a little bit more. But the point is, it's in your control to manage those finances. And the last thing I'll say about that is, as you were starting off your question, Aubrey, the first thing that popped in my mind was, a lot of people think it's harder, right? They think it's harder to eat healthy. They think it's harder to control your finances. Those things are hard up front, but you got to really think about if you don't exercise, if you don't eat right, how hard is your life going to be when you're 53 and something's failing? Think about how hard that's going to be. And college was the biggest one. I think people were like, man, college was hard. All three of us went to college. Yes, college was hard. But you know what's even harder is working your way to the top in an industry without a degree. So I always say it didn't make me like some kind of genius or smarter, but it did make my life easier because when I got my job, I didn't have to do 4 years in the military or any of that to be a cop. They literally like, you have a degree, let's go. And I got paid the same as people who did 4 years in the military. So even though it was harder, it does give you an easier path. And I always tell people, like, when you think something's harder, just think about that end result later down the road. That's what we do it for, I think sometimes, not for it to be easy now, but for it to be easy later.
Yeah, I think one of the things to really understand is that, and we kind of talk about, what's going on with the government a lot, what's going on with people's money, and what's going on with how much buying power the dollar has versus what it had, or the cost of a house. And a lot of these things I wish we could control. But at the end of the day, right, it's a democratic society. We get to vote, yes. But at the end of the day, a lot of these things are outside of our personal control. I'll just speak from my, perspective. It's not in my control how much my dollar is going to buy next year. It's not in my control how much a house is next year versus this year. I can't control that. But really maximizing what is in my control, I think, I love this thing. I saw Jeff Bezos talk about this. He talked about anxiety and stress, and that's going to be our next subject. Is stress comes from not taking action on those things that are in our control. If there's going to be a hurricane that comes, that's not really in my control, but I could take action to make sure I have a generator, to make sure I have food ready, to make sure that my roof is good. That's within my control, and that makes me feel better. Now, if I don't take those actions, then I get even more stressed. Like Sirod talked about, I can make sure that I eat right. So when, as I, age 40, 50, 60, I've given my body the best shot at, being healthy, being strong. I'm going to show you guys this quick image right here, you know, my wife found this image, and we talk about this sometimes because, you know, I work with a lot of seniors and I try to explain to them how important muscle and protein is. And a lot of them look at me crazy. And a lot of people think muscles, you know, cool for the look or being strong, or, you know, you want to have the muscles popping out, when it's really the biggest part of it is your metabolic health, your hormone balance, your quality of life in your older age, insulin sensitivity, quality of sleep, extended lifespan, quality of life, bone support, and density, right? All these things that are really, really, really super important. So it's like really remembering that, yes, there's a lot of things outside of our control. And if we focus on that, like, man, cost of living went up so much, and oh man, our apartment is this. If you focus on those crazy things, it's going to have you feeling powerless. But if you can focus on and take action on those little things that are in your control, like Sirod said, to wake up, like Stephen said, to plan out, these are all within our control. But the thing is, they take effort. And that's one of the biggest things as we're going from 20 to 30 to 40. I think that we had to all realize is that when you're a kid, you don't have to put in as much effort for your life, because hopefully your parents kind of set you up, right? You have a house to be in, you got a roof, you got food, you got clothes on your back. But as you grow, all those, you know, basics you got to take care of and more. And that's why really being on top of what's in your control and doing the what could be hard things are required for that life you want. Because if not, then it slowly starts to tick away. But the thing is, we don't see it the next day. That day you didn't eat right or work out, the next day you're not broken in bed, but it is one step closer. So let's go to the next step, which I think is really key, because a lot of people say they talk about stress. Stress has been linked to a lot of health issues, burnout, right? Issues in marriage, all these things. So chronic stress increases risk by heart disease, 40%. Stroke, if you guys don't know what stroke is when, you know, there's a stop of blood flow to your brain or a bleed in your brain. You can not be able to talk, lose movement of half side of your body, not be able to understand. I worked with stroke victims. It's very, very sad because a lot of the deficits don't come back, which is tough. So what are some things that you guys do? Because you guys are dads, we're all dads, homeowners, career people, like all that in and of itself adds a lot of stress. What are some things that you guys do that's in your control to deal with the stresses of, you know, coming into your 40s and being in the lifestyle you're in now and achieving what you've achieved?
You know, one of the things I think I have gained over the years was, I think, especially as men, and you know, especially as Black men, you know, we tend to keep a lot of our feelings or emotions inside, right? We grew up in the 90s and early 2000s where, you know, if anyone said that they were going to, you know, seek some type of counseling or mental health, everyone would like laugh at them or be like, yo, are you crazy? Like, what's going on? And I think the shift has really changed to like mental health. And I think, you know, it's been a great shift, right? A lot of celebrities and sports figures talk about it. And I think one of the things that I really had to deal with when it came to that was just being able to communicate what my feelings are, right? Like if you don't know what you're feeling, how can you fix what you're feeling? And being able to actually just have open communication about things that are affecting me, things that are bothering me, you know? So it's not just sitting with me in my head for me to just go through. Because I think a lot of us, when we're sitting there with our thoughts, we get those what ifs, like what if this, what if that, and what if this and what if that. And, you know, I really try to focus and go on like family walks, you know, having family dinners so we can interact and communicate with what our day is going on. I don't think it's any surprise here. I like to game, so I could try to take that time away from a stressful day of whether it's work or with the family, having that dedicated time for myself to do what it is that I like to do, like find some hobbies. I can't believe how many people I run into in 2025 that you're like, hey man, what do you like to do? And people are like, what do you mean? Like, or the hobbies that they have are like, oh, I like to go to the bar, or, I like to do certain things that are like, is it a hobby or is that like something that you like to do type thing? And I think having that dedicated time for yourself to really see who you are and find out who you are. I think throughout our journey from 20s to 40s, we found out who we are, what it takes for us to, reach certain points and breaking points and all that. And you're going to continue to discover who you are and be okay with change, right? I think a lot of things when you get the one issue I usually see is a lot of older people, they don't want to change, right? Like I think we all remember when the internet came, right? Most of the boomers were just like, I'm not going to learn computers because I'm going to die anyway. So, but technology moves too fast for you to say that now. Like if someone would say, hey, I'm not trying to do that right now, you're going to be like, you're not going to make it. You're going to get left. You got to do it because it's just moving too quickly. And I think being able to be open to change and finding yourself and doing different things that you might not think, oh, in the beginning you might think, oh, I can't do that, or that I don't think that's for me. Just try some stuff. You never know. There's so many different things out there to deal with stress. They got like yogas with goats, you know what I'm saying? Like yogas with dogs. Like, some people just like to go meditate on the beach. Some people like to just go drive around in their car and listen to music just to de-stress. Like whatever it is that you like to do, as long as it's not hurting anybody, just be open to try to get that mental break because I think Aubrey's and Sirod's right that a lot of times stuff just gets to you and you have to find ways to deal with it and get it out, or it's just going to consume you from within. And it's usually going to take shape in not eating healthy. Depression comes across as, not wanting to be out there in the world. Like any person that doesn't want to be in the sunlight, our body needs vitamin D, right? Any person that's just trying to stay in the house and do like those are early signs of stress and depression. And you don't want to wallow in that. And you want to understand what that is. So because depression, I think we all gone through depression. I know I have. And you get thoughts and you think things. And if you don't reach out and you don't communicate, no one's going to. Rex Life Raj came out with something. He said, the song was Save You. He's like, no one's going to save you. And that's so true because no one's going to save you unless you go out there and seek something or ask or talk or communicate. Because everyone's going through their own lives. Everyone's doing their own thing. Everyone has their own stressors, their own family, their own work. Like, no one's going to save you unless you reach out and tell people something's going on or try to educate yourself on different things that you can do to try to lower your stress because yes, stress is the number one killer and we all go through it, and how deep it is, how bad it is, all really depends on what you can control about yourself and what you can control in the help in which you try to go receive.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of became an isolationist, if that's a word. I don't know. I really stopped relying on other people, and just started taking control of what I wanted. And yeah, I mean, there's times where whether it was with my relationship or my job or my life in general, it wasn't the happiest, but didn't last long. You're talking a couple hours. So I'm like, man, stop crying like a little bitch. We just say, strap up your boots and let's fucking go. You know what I'm saying? Like sitting in your room, like, oh man, I wish I made more money. Then go make some more money. You ask yourself that question: how much work have you put in to get more money? You ain't did shit. So I don't know. I just kind of, like you said, kind of self-evaluate, and I don't really reach out as much. But I have hit up a police homie before and be like, look, man, like I was trying to beat myself back up to it, but I couldn't, bro. Like you're older than me. How you dealing with stuff? And just hearing someone older kind of explain it kind of helped. Um, as far as stress, I think the first thing that I was thinking was, man, you got to plan it out. And I'm just lucky that I fell into the holes or maybe I could stop saying I'm lucky because there was obviously more effort than luck that probably went into it. But I still feel like it's lucky because I see people put in a lot of effort and don't end up in the situation I'm in. Like when I was talking about my sick time, my leave, I'm in a government situation where if I do have a kid, I get 3 months to be at home with that kid, which I was with 7. It was perfect. It was just so much time. I mean, I know some people, even in the military, didn't get that. I think they got like 1 week or something before. Some people are in a job. I don't know how California works, but I'm assuming if you work at Costco or Home Depot, I don't know that you get 3 months off paid. So these are just things that I've kind of fell into that alleviate stress in my life that I didn't plan. But if I had to tell somebody, especially anybody watching this is why we do it, is like, go talk to somebody, man. I bet if I'd have just took this type of conversation and all the things we talked about and just talked to 6 adults, maybe even 3, I probably would have had a better life because they would have kind of told me the stresses that they're dealing with at 38. And at 28, I probably would have tried to skip those. But instead, I probably dealt with the same stuff because I didn't plan and I didn't ask. And you don't know what you don't know. We say that a lot. So I would say, man, to alleviate stress, the one thing I wish I did was just ask and not, I didn't know what to ask. I wish I would have been able to ask, like, yo, like, what's something you would change that stresses you out the most? And they may have said retirement. They may have said, man, I really wish I got in the stock market earlier. I really wish I'd have bought a house earlier. And I would hope that those things would have triggered me to say, oh, crap. So if this is what's stressing them out, at 29 or 33, I'm only 24. So maybe I could do something about it. But for me, I don't really give a fuck. I don't really give a shit, dude. I just ain't nothing that bad in my life, me personally, that I am just super down or stressed out about that I can't fix. And then that shit outside these walls, I don't even worry about it too much because that shit's stressful and I can't control it. Like most of, you know what I mean? If I'm like, oh, God's for the kids. Oh, God's for, man, I can't fucking control that shit. If you want to go donate some money, do a vote, they still gonna kill them kids. They still gonna have that conflict. And now I'm just stressed out and worked up, and now my family's suffering. So it's a pretty fucked up way to live. But yeah, I kind of just said, man, I don't give a shit.
That's how you gotta have different perspectives. That's how I like you. You got to have cats that give you different perspectives that you take from them. I think one of the biggest things is you know, kind of sitting down and having some of that quiet time with yourself. One thing that's really helped me is journaling. Like sit down and kind of like swirls up here. And sometimes you might have some thoughts, but those thoughts might not be your own. It might be an echo of something you heard, your subconscious catching on a music video or a song you heard way back in the day or a movie. Like just because you hear it in your head doesn't mean it's your thoughts or who you are. So I think one of the things that really helps with stress is something that you can do on your court, right? Is sit down and journal. What is stressing you out? Is it money? Is it lack of time? Is it health? Is it you're unsure about this or that? And you feel like it's going this way and you can't stop it. And I think once you journal it out, it lets you kind of like distill it down from all this big boogie monster to, oh, it's 3 things. I feel like I'm not that healthy. And I'm scared that, I see my parents getting older. I feel like that's going to be me. Or, you know what? I am not doing well in my finances. I keep on having credit card balances and I'm paying it and it doesn't seem to be going down. Okay, then it's finances. Okay, I feel like me and my partner are just kind of going through the routine and we don't feel as connected or isn't as fun as when we started. Okay, then there's some things to work on with your relationship, but having it just sit there, it's kind of like a dirty house. A house doesn't get clean on its own. You can't just walk by the mess every day and think that the mess is going to get cleared up. You got to actually sit down and go over where's the mess? Is it the kitchen? Is it the living room? Is it the bathroom? Okay, now what's the plan to clean it? And then take action on what's in your control. Is the cleaning it? Or you got to hire somebody, right? Nothing happens until we happen to it. And I think once you start doing that, just like Jeff Bezos says, once you start doing the things that are in your control, I feel like God works with us that work with him. Now, he's not going to just do it for you, but as we start to take action, things start to work in different ways and kind of meet up with you and start to take over that finances that you were worried about. You start working on you getting better spending, and then you see that you could do this side hustle, or you do see there is another job you could get that you could shift over and make, $10,000 more a year. Because as we start to do what's in our control, it opens up lanes of other things that couldn't even be opened up yet until we shifted.
I think the action part is the key though. Because I just ran like maybe 10 people in my head who I know complain, stress, but no action. That's the key though. You could journal it, you could talk to a counselor, you could talk to a friend. If you're not gonna do nothing about it, you might as well stop stressing about it because you're not doing nothing about it. And that's the more you said action and doing and cleaning the bathroom, I'm like, there's so many people that just want to they want the world to fix it for them. They want somebody else to do it for them.
What do you think is holding people back, or what's held you back in the past, and what's made a difference when you started to take action?
Everything we said, it ain't easy. It's not easy to not, like we said, it's easier to eat the cheeseburger than fry up some chicken some chicken breast and some vegetables, and it doesn't taste as good. It's harder for me to get up right now and go run down the street and then run back out. It's 100 degrees outside, or go get a gym membership when that's more money that I don't have. It's just, I think people, they're not looking down the road. They just see right now it's harder. It's harder to get that second job. So now you work your one job and that other job, but you don't got to do it forever. You just got to pay off them credit cards and then you can stop. So you're talking about 1 year to have 20 years of no more credit cards, but you stressed out about the 1 year that you got to go put in that work. And I think people look at it, it's hard right now instead of down the road. It'll
You
be
know,
easy.
you know, I always get hit for being the pessimist, right? That everyone always thinks I think the world is falling. And it's okay to understand that the world is falling. Like that, like two things can be simultaneously true at the same time. The world can be fallen and I can still have hope, right? Like hope is what gets me to keep going, right? If it's when you become hopeless that the travel becomes what's the reason for the travel, right? It's usually they always tell you the journey and then the destination is the great spot. But there's a lot of people that are going through the journey that don't even see the destination. They don't understand. They're hopeless, right? Like, while I might understand, like, yeah, I'm tired of seeing kids blown up on my screen on X every single day for what's going on over in Gaza, right? And it does seem to think that there's nothing you can do to change stuff in this world. But I believe that people are better than maybe what the people that are making the decisions are. I have hope that I believe that most people in this world are good, moral human beings, and we all care about the same thing. And that is my hope on why I keep going, that things will get better. Because if you have even though I might see things that I don't like and there's things I can't control, then there are out of my control. I can't stop our government from bombing kids. Can't do it. Doesn't matter if I go out and march. Doesn't matter if I do whatever I can't stop it, right? But I'm also a human being, so I have to live with something thinking I have to have hope that somehow this is going to change. And if I can just talk to people, if I can find like-minded individuals that feel the same way I do, then I don't feel as hopeless. I have a friend that I hit up all the time when I'm feeling hopeless about certain things. And then I get that perspective from them I feel like maybe they're just as hopeless and they have more hope than I do. And that is what I try to do. Why, even though I know things aren't bad, living situations aren't great, stuff isn't great, but I still have hope for a change around. And to say, you know, just try to go get it, right? But not knowing what it is that your destination is, where you're trying to head, what is your future goals? If you don't even have those and you're just feeling hopeless, then yeah, you are going to just be stuck. But you guys are also right that it does take action to do something. And that's why you have to, whatever it is you want to do. Like I tell my kids all the time, I tell Summer all the time, hey, I don't care what it is you want to be in life. And you can do whatever it is that you want to do in life. But you also have to find your passion. You have to find what it is that drives you and what you like to do. Because, yeah, you could go out and get a regular job and you can get 3 jobs and you could just make money and do this stuff, but you're not going to be happy. And I know people are probably like, who needs to be happy? You just need to survive. And you got to do this. I'm happy. I'm an attorney. I do my thing. I might not love the law that I do, but I love my job. I'm happy. When I wake up in the morning and I start working, it doesn't feel like work. Half the time when I go to court and I'm doing all this stuff, like, yeah, do I have bad days at work? Yeah, everyone does, but I don't feel like I feel lucky to do the job that I get to do. And I think when people find their passion and understand what that is, that gives you hope that things will get better. I can change with a little action. I can change where I'm at because there's nothing stopping you from doing stuff. And I get money is a barrier, but there's ways around it. There's always a way to hustle and find something and do something. And even if it's just like, I can't enroll into San Diego State or some big university, start doing community college classes. Start doing the little things to get you to that point. So when the opportunity presents itself, you're ready to take it. Because yeah, being hopeless is bad. I'm not hopeless. I might say bad things are bad, stuff is going on, things are not looking good, but I've always maintained hope and then take some action behind my hope to make me feel just a little bit better that I'm trying to do my part in the world.
All right. Who are these people though? Because like I said, most of the people that I'm running through my head as I'm listening to both of y'all, I'm like, these niggas been in the same position for like 10, 15 years. Like I have no hope I'm not wasting my hope on all these clown ass losers that ain't doing nothing with my energy. I spent too much time hoping for other people and it was draining me. So who are these people that you're spending your energy on and you're seeing results? Can you give me a few? Maybe that'll give me hope. Because as you're talking, I'm like, yo, like I gave up on that. Look, I'm gonna drop this nugget. I'm gonna give you some knowledge. If you don't do nothing with it, get the hell out of my face. Don't come back. We're not having 15 sessions on this, all right?
No, and I 1,000% agree with you. I'm not telling you to give people hope and try to work people through and try to just sit there and like preach to people every time that they're feeling bad. No, you got to guard your own energy as well, right? Like that's just like the airplane, right? Like I got to put on my mask first before I can help anybody else, right? But what I'm saying is when some people come to me, you know what I'm saying? And this is the thing. I'm not doing it for them. Like I don't do stuff for other people. I'm doing it for myself. If someone comes to me and says, hey man, kick me some game, I'll kick you game, not because I think you may go and do something. I'm hoping you do that. But if you don't, I'm just doing it so I feel like, you know what? Someone asked for help and I provided some help. But if that same person keeps hitting me like 10, 15 times, bro, I ain't got it for you. I've told you everything I can. Like, you got to get it, my man. Like, you got to get it. Like, and that's why I agree with the action part. Because you can sit there and coach and preach and help people and give them game. But if those people don't take it and do some action on their own, it's hopeless.
Yeah. I just think that has to be part of the story because a lot of people think it's just unlimited help, unlimited assistance. It's like, no, man. So I start telling people up front now. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ask me for my help, I'm not wasting my time. The inch, the second, the half millimeter that I feel that you ain't all in on this, I'm cutting it off, man. I'm not wasting my time with you, dude. You talking about help you with your resume, but I sent you my resume and said, yo, do a little rough draft, and it's been a week. So then they try to send it after. Hey, no, we done. Go find somebody else to waste their time. Like I'm not gonna stress out over you because you don't take it. You're not taking it.
That nigga said, I know you might be going through some things in life, and I get it, but I gave you a deadline. You ain't doing it. You're out of here. You're gone, bro.
Wasteful,
don't send
bro.
me no resumes. Good luck. Indeed.com.
They will waste your time if you let them. And this is why I like the podcast, because either you listen to it or you don't. But if I had to sit here and say I was mentoring you two or helping you two or y'all asking me about something, that's a waste of my time. If all you're going to do is come back next week, I'm like, so what'd you do with that knowledge I gave you? What you mean? Man, what the fuck I'm sitting here for then? You know, so at least the podcast, like, yo, go sit and listen to this shit for 40 minutes, put in the effort, report back. You know what I mean?
And if you don't report back, unfollow us and you're out of here. You don't mess
then
with
I'm blocking you from the page.
Podcast at all. You gone. You out of the circle of trust.
So y'all don't think you should reach back for cats and try to pull them up out the mud, bro?
That's what I just said I do. What you mean? That's what I try to do. Before we started talking, right? When we had our little catch up, right? And when we were talking, like, I want everyone around me to shine. Like, you don't have to shine the same way or as bright. You do whatever you want to do, but I'm trying to party with everybody with me. I don't want to be the only man that's sitting here going on trips and vacations with our family. I'm trying to do a group trip with our family.
I don't care, bro.
Said he does.
I don't care, bro. I don't care. I don't care. I don't. I will happily go with my wife to Italy, Belarus, Spain, with just us. I don't need to. Hey man, come on, read this book and invest and do all that. Come with us. Nah, I'm good. I don't.
You ain't trying to go to Disney World?
You leaving cats behind, bro?
You ain't trying.
Hey,
we're trying to go to Disney World. Come on, man. We're trying to take the whole family trip. You heard Aubrey. We good.
You think Elon Musk sitting in his house like, oh, who else can I bring with me? Nah, he living on top of the mountain like, yep, I took care of me. I handle my business plans. I ain't worried about their business plan that they done, half-ass did or 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I went on with what I'm doing, and that's why I said I'm down to spend some time with people if they want to talk. But Aubrey, you said something, I think in episode 1 that still stuck with me when you said, because it happened to me. You were like, if you ask somebody to read something, your example, you were saying like, like, oh, check out this book. It's like if they don't, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, I'll check it out later. It's like you're not serious, man. So you even said it in one degree or another because we all know I was the one that person. He was like, yo, I told you up front though, right? I said, yo, send me the link. If I find some downtime, I'll check it out. If I don't, I don't. But a lot of people bullshit you. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to, I'm gonna read the whole book by tomorrow. And it's like, you know, and then 3 months later, you're like, did you ever even order the book? Nah, man, I didn't get to it. I don't mess around with those people. And I'm just saying, in my head, there's way more of those people than there are people who legitimately want their help because of the work that it involves. Shit, most of the people want to put in the work don't need your help because they're putting in the work. They might need a little bit of guidance, but a lot of people just sitting there and they want you to just give them the answer. And none of us have that answer. We all put in work. We all wake up at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., work out, do this, go to, go to law school. We all put in the work in one form or another. So I can't stand watching somebody just BS me about how they want to put in that work. I'm like, if you still talking, bro, you're not really about it. Then. So I'm not gonna waste my time.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're 17. When I was
So
17, I had 8 jobs.
we'll give our final thoughts. I think for me, one of the biggest things is like from this, you got to understand that you got to take care of what's in your court because that allows the next step to happen. And like we all hit on, it does take action, but you got to do your part. And if you got one thing from this episode, I hope it is that what is in your court, let's take action on that today. You're not going to feel like it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun all the time, but you got to do it if you want to get to the other side where you want to go. So I think that's the biggest thing for me is you got to be an action taker and get out of the excuse run because it never works out. If y'all want to give y'all closing thoughts.
I echo all that. I think that's all true. And I will say this, that I wouldn't be as successful as I am now if it wasn't for me meeting some very solid individuals that gave me a lot of mentorship and wisdom to help push me to where I'm at today. So there's a lot of people like my wife and my family, and there's some professors, and there's some teachers, and there's some friends, and there's some colleagues that have all played a role at one part or another. Little do they know it or not, because you never know who will affect you on your travels in life. And at the end of the day, when you meet those people that are willing to give you that help and stuff, keep those people close because you'll never know when you'll either need them or something will just click and be like, oh man, that's when whatchamacallit told me to do this. And then at that right moment, it all lines up. So just know the people you meet in life, some are, not everyone's there to see you succeed, but there are going to be people that are going to be crucial in your development in life to help you reach that next step that you should always just keep open to those people that you come in contact with that can help you propel you to the next part of your journey in the next echelon of where you're trying to go in your life.
Yeah, my mentality again is very pessimistic because I truly believe if I wanted to make $1 million by the end of this week, I'm pretty sure I could do it. It'd be so much work. It'd be super, super hard, but I know exactly where I would start, and I'm pretty sure I could make $1 million in 1 week in this world between the internet, the AI, the things that I'm thinking about. So that's why I'm very pessimistic that if you put in the work, you can pretty much do anything in today's day and age, including myself. So to Stephen's point about people around you, I had a lot of people around me that really changed the trajectory of my life, but 99% of it was me having to put that shit into action. You could talk till you're blue in the face, but at the end of the day, that person, whoever was talking to me and whoever you're talking to, has to put it in action. So if you're not going to do the action, then just again, you're gonna keep complaining because that's just what people do. But if people like me are just gonna be like, on to the next one. I'm not gonna waste my time with you. So know that the sky's the limit. In 2025, the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want to do, but you got to put in the work.
That's it, y'all. That's episode 13, Controlling the Controllables. Remember, share us on your social media. We got the Instagram page. We got the YouTube. We're on Spotify. Share us. If you got value from this episode or any of the episodes, we love when you share it with your friends and family or just repost it on your story to let other people know about the things we're trying to give just as value to people. That's a part of what we give back. and hopefully somebody listens to it. And you never know. Sometimes you're trying to drop nuggets to your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your son, or your daughter. And because you are mom, dad, son, daughter, or brother or sister, they don't listen to you the same way as some random cats from YouTube or a podcast. It just is how humans are. So sometimes might be saying the same things you are, but us saying it, they're gonna be like, dang, my aunt we kept saying that, but then Sirod said this and Stephen said that and Aubrey said this, and it just clicked. That's just how humans are. So that's why it's gonna benefit you to share this, and we appreciate you from the 20 to 40 podcast. Let's get it, y'all.